Okay, lesson 14.7, valuing inventory. Your objective today is to use the average cost, FIFO, and LIFO methods to compute inventory value. Okay, the first method we will use is average cost method, which is a way of valuing inventory based on the average cost of goods received by a business. Okay, it's the simplest form to use, but also the least accurate. Okay, FIFO is the next method, which means first in, first out. It's a method for managing physical flow of inventory that assumes that the oldest inventory is sold first. Okay, get this down, and then we will move on to LIFO. Press pause while you're copying, play to resume. Okay, let's go on to the next page. LIFO. The LIFO method is last in, first out, which is a method for managing physical flow of inventory that assumes that the most recently purchased merchandise is the first to be sold. Okay? And then you have a formula, which is inventory value equals the average cost per unit times the number on hand. Okay? Press pause, get this copied, play to resume. All right. So here we go, example 1. Wholesale Paint Supply is valuing its inventory of masking tape on February 28th, the last day of the month. Wholesale Paint Supply had 88 rolls of masking tape on hand. What is the value of the ending inventory for February? Okay? So, for this one, we're using the average method. It's real easy. All you do is take the total cost of the goods, 542, divided by the number of units received. Work that out. 542 divided by 240 units gives you an average cost of $2.26 a unit. All right. Now the question says you have 88 rolls on hand. What is the value of the ending inventory? 226 times 88 is $198.88. Okay? That's the easiest, simplest method, but it's also the least accurate. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first problems of your homework. Okay, you guys look at these. See if you can figure it out. Think about it. Think about what it's asking. Try to solve it. Press pause. And when you're ready to see it work, press play. So let's take a look at this. Okay? In order to solve problem number 1, it says 2 items are purchased. You get 100 packs of felt pens at $4 each and 60 packs of felt pens at $3.80 each. Okay? Number 1 says find the average cost per pack. Okay, well, you buy 100 packs at $4 each. Plus, you buy 60 packs at $3.80 each. All right, you're going to divide that by how many packs total you purchased, which is 100 plus 60. Okay, so let's start to solve this. 100 times 4 is 400 plus 60 times 380, 228 over 160. Work this out, you get 628 over 160. That works out to be $3.93 a pack. Okay? Now, $3.93 is my average cost per pack. Question 2 says find the ending inventory value if 50 packs were on hand at the end of the period. Well, 50 packs on hand at the end of the period times my average cost per pack of $3.93. So 50 times $3.93 is $100, $196.50 is my value of my ending inventory. On to example 2. Okay, now, in order to do example 2 and 3, I need you looking at your book on page 536. That's the only way you're going to be able to do this with me. Okay? You need to be looking at the table at the bottom of 536, from example 1. All right? So now, example 2, it says, for wholesale paint supply in example 1, use the FIFO method to find the cost of goods sold and the value of 88 units in ending inventory. Okay? First thing you got to do is find the cost of goods sold using the FIFO method. All right? We need to determine the number of units sold. All right, so looking at the table on the bottom of 536, it says we received a total of 240 units. Okay? So if we received 240 units and we had 88 units in ending inventory, 240 minus 88 tells me that we had 152 units sold. Okay? That's how many units we sold. Now, the next step, we have to assign a value to the units sold. With FIFO, the 152 units sold are assumed to be the earliest units received. Remember, FIFO means first in, first out. The first units that came in were the first ones we sold. We sold 152 units, so therefore the first 152 units we received need to be the first out the door. All right, so looking at the table, again on the bottom of 536, on February 1, we received 80 units at a cost of $215. Okay, so units received is 80 at a cost of $215. 80 times 215 is 172. $172. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make this units received column add up to 152. Once I get to 152, that's my cost of goods sold. February 8th, we received 40 units. Well, 80 plus 40 is 120 units. Okay, so I'm still not quite to 152. So 40 units at 225 equals $90. Okay, now 80 plus 40 is 120. Well, I've got to get to 152, so that leaves 32 units left. So on February 15th, from the table on 536, we received 80 units. We did not sell all of those 80 units. We only sold 32 of them because that's what we had to get to 152. Okay? So on February 15th, we sold 32 units at a cost of $230 a piece. All right? So 32 times 230 is 73.60. Okay? Now, part C says add the total cost of the units sold. We simply add up this column at the end. So add that up, and you should get $335.60 for my cost of units sold. Okay, or cost of goods sold. That's my that's how much everything was. Now, that's the first part of example 2. The next part is we have to find the value of the 88 units in the ending inventory. Okay? So step 2. All right. On February 15th, we had 80 units come in. We only sold 32 of them. So 80 minus 32 means we had 48 units that we did not sell on February 15th. Okay? That was still at the price of $2.30, which comes from the table on 536. Okay, so 48 times 230 is 110.40. All right, now on February 22nd, we had 40 more units come in at a cost of $2.40. $96. All right, now if you've done this right, this should add up to the number of units that you have remaining in inventory, which it tells us we have 88 units in ending inventory. We came up with 88. The value of those units in ending inventory is 96 plus 110.40, which works out to be 206.40. Okay? That is the value of my ending inventory. Let's try problem 3 on your homework. Okay? Press pause, work this out. When you're ready to see it work, press play. All right, let's take a look at this. Now, this is back to problem 1. It says, assume the 100 packs of felt pens bought at $4 each in problem 1 were purchased first before the 60 packs of felt pens bought at $3.80 each. 50 packs were on hand at the end of the period. Okay, so if you sold 100, or if you had 160 packs total, and you have 50 on hand at the end, that means you sold 110. Okay. Now question 3 says, find the cost of goods sold and the value of the ending inventory. All right. Well, to find our cost of goods sold, we have to come up with 110 units. Well, I got 100 packs in first, so 100 times 4. All right, plus I need 10 more units to make 110. 10 units at $3.80. Okay, so 100 times 4 is 400. 10 times 380 is 38. So that means $438 is my cost of goods sold, or also known as COGS, cost of goods sold. Okay? Now, my value of my ending inventory, it told me that I had 50 packs remaining on hand. 50 times 380. 50 times 380 is $190. That is my inventory remaining on hand. All right? Not too terribly tough. Okay, we're moving on. Now, example 3. You have to continue to use the chart on the bottom of 536 to do example 3. Okay? Now, this says, for wholesale paint supply in example 1 on 536, use the LIFO method to find the cost of goods sold and the value of 88 units in ending inventory. Okay, so 88 units in ending inventory, if we remember Part A says determine the number of units sold. Well, we had 152 units sold. Okay. Now, LIFO just means we work from the bottom up. Okay. So on February 22nd, we had 40 units come in at 240. 40 at 240 a piece, which means that's a cost of $96. On February 15th, we had 80 units at a cost of $230. 80 times 230 is 184. All right, now, if you recall, we want the units received column to equal 152. Okay? Right now we're at 120. On February 8th, we had 40 units come in, but we only need 32 of those. Okay, so we're going to take 32 units from February 8th at a cost of $225 a piece. 225 times 32 is 72. $72. Add that up. 72 plus 184 plus 96 equals 352. So $352 is my total cost of the units sold. Okay? Now, go to the next page. All right? And again, we're still working from the bottom up. We used 32 units from February 8th. All right? February 8th, 40 units came in, so that means we had 8 units still left from the 8th that we did not use. 8 at 225. Okay? So 8 times 2.25 is $18. Now, February 1st, we had 80 units come in at $215. $80 times $215 is $172. All right? So it told me we have 88 units remaining in ending inventory. That adds up to 88, so I know I've done it right. My cost of goods in ending inventory is $190. Okay? Excellent. That is the LIFO method. Now, let's go ahead. Let's look at problem number 4 of the homework. Try this out. Press pause and play when you're ready. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Again, you had 100 packs of felt pens bought at $4 each. They were purchased first. Then you had 60 packs at $3.80, and you had 50 packs remaining. Okay, so you had 160 total, all right, with 50 remaining, which means you sold 110. All right, so according to the LIFO method, we use the last in, first out. So since the 60 came in last, we sell those first. So 60 times 380, all right, plus, now if we sold 110, 110 minus 60 means that we sold 50 of the packs from the $4 variety. Okay? So 60 times 380 is 228. 50 times 4 is 200. So that means my cost of goods sold are $428. Okay? Now, to find the value of my ending inventory, I still have 50 remaining of my $4 variety. 50 times 4 is 200. That's my value of the ending inventory. All right? This lesson can be a little tricky, but go ahead and try it. Okay, just remember which method you're trying to use, average, FIFO, or LIFO. Here's your assignment, lesson 14.7, page 537, 1 through 10, and 14. Get busy.